We welcome you to our roundtable, which is jointly organized and brought to you by the Ai-IMC and our media partner, Africa Investor. This high-level forum on the business of regional economic integration in Africa brings together business and government leaders to discuss and advance regional integration projects and initiatives to improve Africa's trade and investment competitiveness. Some of you may be aware that we organized a similar dialogue on Africa regional economic integration in Davos earlier this year. And at this meeting, the Vice President of the African Development Bank challenged us to host such a forum on the continent. To Mr. Moyo, we say, we are pleased that we do deliver when our strategic partners give us such guidance and such instructions. And we are pleased that we were able to do it within this given year as we gather here in Cape Town. And most of you are here, obviously, for the World Economic Forum Africa, and we seize the opportunity to do so and to take the conversation forward. The International Monetary Fund is already forecasting positive developments for Africa, that it will once again be one of the fastest growing regions in the world. This is promising, but we are also aware, as Tembisa says, that we must take into account what factors may threaten that growth. And yes, there are the threats of a prolonged global financial instability, commodity price volatility, and the reality of climate change. And for those of you attending the tourism session this afternoon, as Jeffrey will probably want to highlight, that's one of the discussions that takes place this afternoon. Whatever the challenges, the advantages of regional economic integration is immeasurable. We have, as South Africans, as Africans in business, as well as in the public sector, waxed lyrical on the supply and demand side opportunities, ranging from increased production, infrastructure development, to growth markets. Yes, we have said it often and too often. An opportunity the continent definitely needs to gear up for so that it fundamentally benefits from it. I am reluctant to add, but I will. Otherwise, we will be turned into the very consumers of our own production. At the heart of these discussions should not only be how to bring development to Africa, but how best to cooperate as a continent, and with its individual member countries, how do we leverage on the reality of what is already happening? So we're not doing a futuristic look at this. It's happening. It's happening around us, without, excuse me, without us. It is happening. We're either going to be part of it or we're going to be on the peripheries. So the next chapter for our continent is indeed to move from vision to action. It is our wish that your deliberations will move us from mere dialogue and planning to implementation of concrete actions. This will also give effect to the intentions expressed by the BRICS leaders recently to see a just and equitable economic reality for the developing nations, of which we know Africa is an integral player. Ladies and gentlemen, I know as the panelists move forward in discussing the various areas and looking at some key recommendations that take us from vision to action, I want to be able to throw out to the audience today that from a brand South Africa perspective, as partners with Africa Investor, the challenge we throw out to you is the fact that such occasions, whether it's the World Economic Forum Africa, the World Economic Forum in Davos, or any other global forum, in future, should in actual fact have the continent as the brand we take forward. And that's a challenge which we're going to put to the private sector in terms of ensuring that in future, from brand South Africa perspective, that we in actual fact start now moving towards brand Africa. Okay. And to avoid ourselves being caught up in all of the various structures that do exist in terms of the economic blocks, the challenge I throw to the private sector, why don't you make it happen? Okay. And we'll be able to deliver on it. With that, I would like to wish you well in your dialogue this morning. And hopefully, and we are hopeful, that we will be able to move forward and develop an action plan by the end of this morning. We want to thank our very, very good partners who walk with us every step of the way. Africa Investor, thank you very much to Herbert and the team. We really appreciate the fact that you walk this route with us. On that basis, I would like to now introduce to you our Honourable Deputy Minister.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.